Hi, my name is Akshay Gattani, and in this video, we are going to learn about design thinking and human centered design. Why is it important in product management, and how to use them together to create a lasting change? As a product manager, you will always have to work on solutions to problems which are creative and out of the box. In this lesson, we will learn need of design thinking in product management, what does it mean by design thinking and human-centered design, difference between both of them, and applying both together and its advantages. So let's get started. But before we jump into understanding human-centered design approach, let us first understand the need of design thinking into product management. There is always a gap between user wants and user needs, and while it is easy to assume that the difference might not be clear, taking an empathetic approach creates a finer line between the two. As a product manager, there is an increased need to carefully merge creativity, metrics, and process to deliver the best optimal product experience. Design thinking just helps to do this. Since we now know the need of design thinking, let's understand what actually design thinking means. Design thinking is a human centered, empathy first approach to creativity and innovation. Its underlying principle is focusing on user needs, aspirations, wishes, concerns, and frustrations in attempting to solve their problems. Interestingly, design thinking focuses on the most important view from which problem solving should be approached, that is, the users. On the other hand, human-centered design approach refers to a process that starts with the people you are designing for and ends with a new solution that are tailor-made to suit their needs. Human-centered design is all about building a deep empathy with the people you are designing for, generating tons of ideas for them, building a bunch of prototypes, getting feedback from people you have made it for, and eventually putting your innovative new solution out in the world. At first glance, both the approaches look very same, and there seems no difference at all between them. So let us try to look at each one of them in detail. The five-stage design thinking model was originally proposed by the Hasso-Plattner Institute of Design at Stanford. The first stage of design thinking is called empathize. Here, you learn about the audience for whom you are designing. This stage is meant to get a better understanding of the problem that you wish to conquer. The second stage of design thinking is called define. In this stage, you sharpen your key questions and construct a point of view that is based on user needs and insights. From here, you and your team will start to progress into the third stage of design thinking, ideate. The third stage of design thinking is called ideate, in which you brainstorm and come up with creative solutions. The information from the previous stage is used to generate logical or out of the box ideas. The fourth stage of design thinking is called prototype. During this phase, you build a representation of one or more of your ideas to show to others. With each new prototype, the team investigates different aspects of the problem and explores how each of the prototypes would fix the problem. The fifth and the final stage of design thinking is called test. During this stage, design thinkers test their prototypes made in stage 4 to see how well they solve or handle the problem that they initially analyzed in stages 1 and 2. Essentially, the team can continue to do this until they either solve their problem or until they are satisfied with their product. Now let's understand human-centered design in detail. It is a mindset that overlays design thinking to ensure that the products are actually relevant and beneficial in the long run for the people they are intended to serve. Human centered design thinking suggests an approach to creativity in three phases: inspiration, ideation, and implementation. Inspiration stage. In this phase, you will learn how to better understand people. You will observe their lives, hear their hopes and desires, and get smart on your challenge. Ideation stage. Here you will make sense of everything that you have heard, generate tons of ideas, identify opportunities for design, and test and get feedback for your solutions. Implementation stage. Now is your chance to bring your solution to life. You will work out how to get your idea to market and how to maximize its impact in the world. Okay, are you still confused? Do they sound too similar to you? Let's try to understand it in a nutshell. The perspective of design thinking is wider than the one of human-centered design. The former focuses on innovation and creation and is about developing new products, services, and even about solutions for social problems. The focus of the latter is on improving the usability and user experience of certain product or service to ensure that the products are actually relevant and beneficial in the long run. Let's try to make this clear by a practical example. Any business can use design thinking. Now, let's try to see how to implement both together. According to the principles of human-centered design, before we start the five-stage design thinking process, we need to adopt a mindset which is optimistic that a solution is discoverable. Stage 1. Empathize. Design thinking begins first with understanding people and trying to focus on a definable problem that this group of people has. During this stage, human-centered design reminds us that we are in the inspiration phase and that we should not rush to get to execution. This enables us to more fully understand the people we are trying to serve. Stage 2. Define. Design thinking then recommends that you frame one problem that you can meaningfully design towards. On top of this, human-centered design guides us to converge stakeholders to better understand their needs, assets, and opportunities to align around one common shared problem. Stage 3. Ideate. Design thinking guides us to come up with as many ideas as possible and not just the right ideas. To this, human-centered design recommends creative processes in the ideation phase on how to generate more ideas in partnership with those we are serving. Stage 4. Prototype. Design thinking tells us to develop a minimum viable prototype to see if the solution will actually be adopted by the market. Human-centered design provides tools in the implementation phase that recommend prototypes be built in partnership with key stakeholders and end users in order to get their feedback and suggestions. Stage 5. Test. Design thinking tells us to test the prototypes in order to first identify if they will be adopted and also as a format to learn more about the end user. Human-centered design checks to make sure that not only will the population adopt the solution, but that it actually creates impact along the identified goals of making things better. We have seen that both approaches are very similar. There are definitely advantages of using both together. Design thinking, which was originally popularized by a design and consulting firm called IDEO for creating commercial products like the original Apple mouse, and it is typically used to create market-based products or service. Secondly, human-oriented design can lead to a concrete user-oriented implementation. Combined, they offer a process and mindset that creates self-sustaining solutions to some of the world's greatest challenges. To summarize what we have learned in this lesson, both approaches are very similar. Design thinking and human-centered design don't exclude one another, they rather complement each other. Specifically, teams can first, by means of design thinking, identify visions and potential solutions. Secondly, human-oriented design can lead to a concrete user-oriented implementation. That's all for this class. Thanks for watching.